It is of course important to make sure that your stylus is clean and free of dust and debris. And it goes without saying that you should try to keep your record collection clean also. We recommend that you do not blow dust off the stylus, as this can introduce dirt into the cartridge and moisture inside the cantilever. At Lin, we recommend using our green paper to clean the stylus. Cut a strip approximately 20mm by 40mm in size. Holding the strip at one end only and applying minimal force, draw it gently across the stylus in the direction of travel, from the back of the stylus to the front 2 or 3 times, taking care to avoid contacting any other areas of the cartridge. This method will clean and polish the stylus tip. Your nearest Lin retailer will be able to provide further advice on using green paper. A dry ultrasonic stylus cleaner can be used in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. It should be completely dry when used, and any supplied liquid should only be used to clean the contact pad after use. Our general advice is that the use of wet cleaners should be avoided, as we have found that liquids can corrode some cantilevers, reducing the lifespan of the cartridge. Liquids can also travel up the cantilever and affect the cartridge suspension. Particular care should be taken to avoid liquids coming into contact with aluminium tube cantilevers. The only exception to this rule is Lyra SPT cleaning fluid, which is compatible with Lin cartridges that have boron cantilevers, such as Archive B, Akiva, and the current Candid flagship cartridge. It should not be used on any other Lin cartridges. Make sure your tone arm is set to the correct tracking weight and anti-skate bias as per the manufacturer's specifications for your cartridge. Incorrect settings can cause damage to your cartridge. All Lin cartridges have an anti-skate bias and a recommended starting tracking weight of 1.75 grams. The wooden plinth should be cleaned with a dry microfiber cloth. Make sure that you clean in the same direction as the grain of the wood. The plinth is constructed from solid kiln-dried hardwood and should not be placed in areas where it may be exposed to extremes of temperature or humidity. Lin do not recommend the use of any solvents or polishes. The lid of your LP12 is made of clear acrylic and should be gently cleaned with a dry microfiber cloth. But be careful, as over-enthusiastic cleaning can do more harm than good and potentially mark the lid. When removing the felt mat, note the orientation and refit it with the same side facing up. The felt mat can be cleaned with tape. Really dusty mats can be beaten like a carpet or a rug. If static is causing your mat to cling to your records when removing them from your turntable, a small application of double-sided tape can secure it to the platter. Alternatively, you can use an anti-static gun. The platter should be cleaned with a dry, lint-free cloth. Please wear gloves when removing it. Some older platters will darken with age due to the alloy oxidizing. We do not recommend polishing the platter rim, as this removes the protective lacquer and results in rapid degradation of the finish. Newer platters have a different type of lacquer which seals the alloy, making them less prone to tarnishing. The top plate is made from stainless steel and should be cleaned firstly with a damp cloth, then finished with a dry microfiber cloth, making sure that you clean and dry in the same direction as the grain of the material. The armboard of an LP12 can be made from either a wooden laminate or from machined aluminium. and can also be cleaned firstly with a damp cloth and dried with a microfiber cloth. Ensure that the stylus guard is in place and take care to avoid the delicate cartridge during this process. Avoid using any polishes, cleaners or solvents on the armboard, especially around the printed artwork at the front. When removing the belt for cleaning, note its orientation and refit it the same way. It may help to mark the belt on the outside, indicating which way is up. Our recommended method of cleaning the belt is to gently pull it through a damp, lint-free cloth. If the belt is clean, it should leave no black marks on the cloth, and belts should last for at least 5 years of regular use. The motor pulley should also be cleaned periodically at the same time as the belt to remove any deposits of rubber shed by the belt. To do this, gently clean the pulley surface with a damp cloth until it is clean. Stubborn deposits can be cleaned by using a small amount of isopropyl alcohol on the cloth instead of water. The oil supplied with an LP12 or bearing upgrade kit provides lifelong protection. If oil is lost from the bearing, it should be replaced by Lin supplied oil from your Lin retailer. The turntable should never be played without the correct amount of oil in the bearing housing. The bearing itself is a closed unit, so under normal circumstances it should not be possible for any contaminants to enter the bearing. If no contaminants have been introduced into the bearing, there should be no need to replace the bearing oil. When removing the inner platter, always use the recommended spindle cover to protect the spindle and place a clean bearing cap on the bearing housing to prevent any contaminants from entering the bearing. Your Lin retailer will be able to provide further information about topping up your bearing oil. An LP12 should never be moved with the outer platter fitted. The best way to prepare an LP12 to be transported is to secure the tone arm, remove the felt mat, the inner and outer platters and the drive belt. This will limit movement by the suspended components inside the turntable. It is possible to move an LP12 with the inner platter fitted by bracing some cardboard underneath the platter rim. Once fitted, you can safely move your LP12.